Hi, we're gonna do the top 10 movies that we saw this year. So, James, why don't you go first and tell them your top 10 movies?
Well, I'll tell them my number 10, and then I'll explain why it's my number 10, and then you'll do what you do.
Alright.
We'll do that, okay?
Okay.
You got something to learn, kid. Anyways, my number 10 would actually have to be The Raid, even though it was probably actually one of the most entertaining films I saw this year. It was just that, I don't even technically it came out last year, but I'm still throwing it on this year because it was released in the States this year, so I had to give it a
Yeah, whenever it went in theaters here, you know?
Yeah, like, it was a limited release here, but it came out to DVD and theatrically here, but I know that it came out last year in some other countries, so I had to stretch it for it to be on this top 10 list, so...
Right, because you couldn't have done it last year, so...
Mm-hmm. And if I didn't have The Raid on here, then Spider-Man would be at number 10. I didn't want that, so you go to your 10.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't want to put Spider-Man at number 10. So, instead of Spider-Man, my number 10 is Total Recall.
Yeah, that's how sad this list gets.
Yeah, well, you know, Total Recall, I mean, it is a stupid movie.
Very stupid.
It's not the remake, not the original. The original's great, but the remake, there was no need to make a remake. The movie's not that good or anything. It's pretty forgettable. But it's number 10 for one dumb reason, and it's that I like it anytime they can do a science fiction set right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those movies. They did a good science fiction set. They have I don't know, just futuristic doors and windows.
It reminded
buildings.
Like, even though I didn't like the movie at all, it did remind me of the game Deus Ex, which I really liked. And I know one thing I didn't like about it is that like it took out a lot of the violence that the original film was known for, and that disappointed me. It wasn't boring. It was just kind of forgettable.
Because it's the same thing we've seen before. It's the same action scenes. You know, it's not. They didn't do a new twist on it. You know,
it's like it's the same action scenes without Arnold Schwarzenegger and blood, which is not cool.
Yeah, it's like it's just more. Yeah, like no one's gonna remember it. You know, I guess it's your time for your number 9. I guess.
Number 9, that would have to go to Paranorman, and the only reason why this is this low is because I only saw it recently, so I haven't had time for let sink in fully. And in reality, I think if I would have saw it earlier, it would have been in my top 5. But once I have a top 5 set, I don't ever want to change it because I feel like that's copping out. And I do have a top 5 set, which some people have already seen on this channel. I mean, for the 2 people that watch me. But
yeah, all 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. You and Chris, but
yeah, me and Chris.
But like, yeah, Paranorman. Like I said, if I would have saw it when it came out, I don't know why I didn't see it when it came out. It just kind of like more or less flew under my radar because like I have to work a lot, so I don't really get to see cinema as much as I want to, which is why I haven't actually seen Django yet or The Hobbit. Well, in all honesty, I haven't seen The Hobbit because I don't feel like seeing it in the theater for 3 hours.
Yeah. It's harder to you don't get the time to go to the movies.
Like,
or else I would have seen Paranorman and a lot of movies this year. I would have seen if I would
have seen Man of the Iron Fist, but
that too. There's a lot of stuff.
I think that was in theaters for like 2 days. Like literally, it was like the week it came out, and then the week after, it was already at our $2.
It's because we have when you're busy, and also when movies cost more money to go see, it's harder to go and see them.
And like with my days off, I kind of want to like think about what I want to do with my time. I don't want to spend 3 hours in the theater, even though
of the movies we didn't see many this year. Yeah. But it's notable to say that I probably saw like 8 or 9 movies in theaters, but almost all of them were good because we picked them really well.
Yeah,
which is because it costs money and you don't get much time to go to the movie theater. So
that and like movies this year are better than movies last year.
Yeah, that was the other surprise this year was that they're better. I did forget one. I forgot about the Hunger Games. Okay, I guess I'll have to put that one on there.
Alright, we're on number 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, do your number 9.
My number 9, I guess my number 9 is Chronicle.
Okay.
I mean, Chronicle is a really fun movie. It's, I'm sure most people have heard of it. It's the found footage movie with kids with psychic powers and stuff. They can move stuff with their imagination.
Even though the theatrical experience of that movie was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, but I mean the movie itself.
Yeah, the movie was great, but like theater experience was
right. But that's just us. That's not the movie.
Yeah, it's not the movie's fault at all.
The movie it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
When people learn to
all the movies we saw this year were good, but they were like even Chronicle included. A lot of them are like I'm not gonna remember them, but they were entertaining. Like they were the size of them and the whole way it was made and the lighting.
Yeah.
Just that whole part of the film of all the movies we saw was pretty good. Yeah. But yet again, I don't think I'll remember any of the movies too well, other than Prometheus. I don't think I'll remember
spoilers.
Any of these movies. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, like, they were good, but they're not like. They were just generally entertaining. They weren't
they're
like
better than last year.
Yeah, they're better than last year, but they weren't like works of art. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Anyway, should I go on to my number 8?
Yep.
Number 8 is what was my number 8? Oh, it was Skyfall, and like I said, late in the year, so I haven't seen it until like last week. When did we see that? When did we actually go to the theater? Was it last week or the week before? Because it was one of the last 2 weeks.
It was a couple weeks ago. I think.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. It's probably my second favorite Bond movie. The first being Casino Royale. But like I said, it was too recent to see to like put it any higher. And no, it was very entertaining, and the villain was really cool. I like the villain a lot, but I think what really sold it for me was pretty much solidly was how they ended the film.
Yeah, it was a good ending.
Yeah, especially like the shootout at the very end, where it was kind of reminded me of like Home Alone for some odd reason.
Well, because they had to set it up with like homemade traps.
Yeah, and then there was the absolute end, which was kind of a bold move to do that with a character that's been around for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it felt like an appropriate time for it, you know?
Yeah, like.
And it fit the plot well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Skyfall a lot.
It also had a good sense of humor about it, also, which I have to say, like, especially with the gun that only fires for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I can't really put Skyfall because I saw that a little too late. I don't know. Only because of that, because it almost doesn't count because I didn't see it, like, during 2012.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time thinking of that as counting it on this list. So yeah. I won't bring that one up. So I guess number 8?
Yeah, you're number 8. What's your number 8?
Alright. Number 8 for me would be, I guess it would be actually The Hunger Games would be next.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know what, screw The Hunger Games. You know what? My number 8, Skyfall. Hunger Games is fine. I don't care for that type of a movie. Even though it was okay for what it was. I thought it was going to be watered down Battle Royale.
Yeah,
which would be annoying for us to watch because we've seen Battle Royale so
many times.
It's just a downgrade, and for us to know that, and for the audience not to know that is kind of frustrating for us.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Hunger Games, so I won't know. But ironically enough, the Battle Royale sequel is actually more the watered down version of Battle Royale.
Is there a sequel?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It unfortunately, and yes,
they didn't have to make a sequel to that movie.
I only have it because it came with a box set.
What else would you do with the sequel? They did everything in the first movie. Like, how else could you kill people?
The game wasn't ended in the first one. It went on, and then those 2 survivors at the end started a terrorist organization to try and bring it down.
Yeah, that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I didn't care, but yeah, no, I haven't seen The Hunger Games, so I wouldn't really know much about it. But yeah, Skyfall is good.
All right.
And should I go to my number 7 then?
Yep.
Number 7 is Looper. I liked Looper a lot. Looper was very cool. Sometimes, like, some people might say it's a little slow, but it's a noir film. It's not an action film. It does have moments of action in it, but it's more of a science fiction noir film, which I really like. I like noir. I like the style. It's a very much a 60s sci-fi. It's very much a 60s noir film, but done in modern time, set in the future. And Bruce Willis, for once, actually seems like he's caring about his role. Mm-hmm. And
is that because Cop Out, or?
I haven't seen Cop Out.
I haven't seen it either. Did his previous roles, you didn't try as much? I haven't seen many Bruce Willis movies recently, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
what movie specifically,
what movie was I thinking about that he...
Is it Die Hard?
No, he cared about Die Hard because that's his signature role. I don't remember what movie.
Wasn't he didn't do much in the Expendables, so it's kind of hard to say.
I guess the Expendables 1 maybe is what I'm talking about, because, like, really he was in it for, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that was his screen time. I've heard that about Bruce Willis, but I don't know what movie.
Yeah.
I think we might be thinking of Cop Out, even though...
Okay, here's what I mean by that. It's just, like, it's nice to see Bruce Willis in a role where Bruce Willis actually is being Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he's trying. He's putting energy into it.
Yeah.
Where, like, I think we both heard about Cop Out, which I think has the same thing.
Yeah.
Where people say, like, he didn't do a good job in that movie. Yeah, but I guess Kevin Smith didn't either, so I don't know.
Kevin Smith was, like, high all the time or something.
So I don't know who's to blame for that movie.
Yeah. But, like...
But I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool that Looper is an R-rated film. Like, it doesn't have a lot of violence or blood in it, but there's really cool scenes with psychics in it, especially with this one young kid. And the child actor, for once, is actually not a total loss. The child actor is actually a decent actor for, like, a child who I think is, like, 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen too often, so that definitely got major props for me. But, yeah, so Looper's number 7. Your turn.
Okay. My number 7, I guess. I guess it'd be, like, this is seriously in the order I saw these movies in.
Mm-hmm.
And they all got a little better as they went on.
Yeah.
None of them... They're all decent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next, I guess, would be Cabin in the Woods. And I can't say too much about it, but it was... It's a simple premise. You won't expect much from it,
mm-hmm.
but just the way they do it and the imagination that they had when they went to do it, how elaborate the idea is, and just the blood and the gore in it is just entertaining. It's just... There's not much to say. It's just fun. I would recommend renting it if you just want to watch a fun movie or something.
Best horror film that came out last year.
Yeah.
Well, no, honestly,
there weren't that many good horror movies. We didn't see many either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was like one of 2 horror films I saw last year.
What was the other one?
Paranorman.
Well, does that count?
Yeah. Well, like it was. I mean, like.
So it's the second best horror movie, or?
Paranorman was the second best, and then Cabin in the Woods was the best.
Okay.
But
Okay,
yeah.
you can go to your...
Number 6?
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is The Dark Knight Rises, and I know a lot of people get that film a lot of flack, but it's my favorite of the newest 3, in my opinion anyway. I just think that Bane, I like Bane more than I like the Joker, because Bane, and I respect The Dark Knight a lot. I mean, it's not my favorite Batman movie, but I know why it has a big following to it. I know why it got good ratings. The reason why I don't like it as much as Dark Knight Rises is because Bane really hasn't been done well in film at all. He's always been kind of like a lumbering idiot in the other ones, whereas in the comics he's actually a brilliant genius. And so it's nice to see in this movie Bane is actually being Bane, even though he's not. In the comics he was like a chemically enhanced being,
mm-hmm.
but in the movie, like, the movies are done more with a realistic tone in mind. And
was Bane ever done in the other movies before?
Bane was done in Batman and Robin. And
okay, really? He was in that one?
Yeah. Remember Batman and Robin, that big, doofy guy that helped Poison Ivy? Like that giant monster thing?
Oh, I'm not thinking about, is it the Iceman?
No, that's Freeze.
Okay.
The other guy, their assistant, that guy with the mask.
Okay, that was Bane?
Yeah, that's Bane. Yeah, I want you to picture that. That's Bane, and then this is like...
Yeah. I didn't know that, so...
Yeah, like, and I know people like will go into the plot holes and continuity errors of it all the time because like that's what people do, and I even said this before in a previous video about how people were gonna nitpick this movie because it's a follow up to The Dark Knight, and
people have,
mm-hmm. And like that's kind of the problem with today's society is that like we can't just have movies stand alone; they always have to be compared to something else. And I'm not gonna lie, I do it too. So
it's hard to enjoy stuff. Like we're always
like I can't help but compare The Amazing Spider-Man to Spider-Man 2, or I can't help but compare The Dark Knight to Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises were good movies.
Mm-hmm.
Where Spider-Man feels like a movie that leeches off of the success of a previous movie.
I'm not saying I dislike The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not saying that at all. I like it a lot. I mean, I own it for crying out loud.
But yeah, we compare stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I on number 6?
Yes, you're number 6.
I guess the Avengers. You
weren't prepared. You weren't prepared for this.
Well, they're all the movies. Like I said, they're all good, but they're all very close to as good as each other. So it's hard to pick an order. So really, they got better as we saw them throughout the years. So really, I'm just going in chronological order here.
Yeah.
Avengers, really. And Avengers was just entertaining. There's not much you can say about it, but it's again like Cabin in the Woods, a big premise.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining.
I would like to see. I remember what you said about Cabin. No, but we'll get to that later.
Avengers.
Yeah, like. It's kind of funny they're already talking about Phase 3 when they haven't even started the Avengers Phase 2 yet.
Yeah.
Like, that just goes to show how much the internet has, in my opinion, destroyed the mystery of cinema.
Well, to be fair, they could always not release the information of movies, but...
Yeah.
You know, I guess when so many people work in a movie, information slips out.
Yeah.
So...
And like I said, that's because of the internet. Like, you can't help but, like...
Also, they could be, they spread information on the internet also to promote the movie.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
There's nothing wrong with like spreading information to promote a movie that's going to come out, but
it'd be nice. It'd be nice if it was a surprise.
Yeah, but if we're already talking about the Avengers 3 here, then there's going to be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. People will say movies are coming out like years before they come out.
Like Avengers 2, 2015. So.
You know what? Speaking of people saying things when movies come out years,
Yeah.
In the future. I think back in 2010, when I was hanging out with a bunch of people, and one of the kids was like, just saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I heard that they're gonna make a new Star Wars, like in Episode 7, and and like you know what I mean." People are always like, which is true, I guess now. I guess.
Well, they're making it now, but like,
but
back then,
no one knew that. So like, people will just say stuff, to like impress people. So
like no, but like the Avengers 3 is gonna there's gonna be. Because the Hulk's not having his own single movie in this new series for the Avengers 2. It's not going to happen until after the Avengers 2, which means they're going to have to lead into the Avengers 3. But and they also have movies planned for Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. Even though it's, I'll talk about this more when I get to.
Yeah.
But anyways, should I say my number 5?
Yes.
My number 5 and number 4, they always kind of flip flop. So either way, they're pretty much tied, but just to be fair, I put one at 5 and one at 4, but let me put it to you this way. They're both tied because they're both just equally ridiculously entertaining. And number 5 is the movie Dread 3D.
That's how all of my movies are.
Yeah. Dread 3D is, it's very, I like it because, I saw it twice in theaters, both times in 3D. You saw it with me that one time at the $2 cinema.
It was a good movie in 3D.
Yeah. And, because even though the 3D, for the most part, wasn't needed throughout all the film. It was only used during the slow-mo scenes with the drug.
But that was all we needed.
Yeah,
and it makes the movie more visual and funner to watch. So I mean,
funner's not a word.
It makes it funner, and it's more entertaining. Because. So yeah, I enjoyed Dread.
Yeah. I think the main thing I like about Dread is the ridiculous amount of how it doesn't how violent it is, especially with the opening where the guy gets his face melted by that bullet, and when they just drop the bodies off at the block. And my favorites, it was interesting. I was watching this one review for Dread, and they said there was no real standout scenes in the film, and I was like, did they not see that minigun scene? That was
No, Judge Dredd, similar to a lot of the movies that came out this year, it's a movie. It's certainly a guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? It's a movie if I just wanted to watch something to put me in a good mood, I would just put on Dredd.
Yeah, I like watching Dredd because for some reason watching people getting massacred and puts me in the good.
Well, also with but it's done in such a big.
It's done such an overtime
in such a big visual way that it's it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And actually, the cinema snob Brad Jones actually put that as his number 1 film of this year.
Which I don't blame him.
Yeah. Anyways, your number 5.
My number 5, I guess, is The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises, not The Dark Knight. And I guess the same reasons I liked it, probably for the same reasons you did. I liked Bane. I liked the plot of it. And I think Christopher Nolan's a good director, so he almost he almost always makes a good movie. You can compare it to the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But as if it's this, as if the Dark Knight was some did something no other movie could do, or as if as if you can't do a superhero movie unless if it's exactly the Dark Knight.
Which is what the problem was with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because it followed too much in that trail.
Right, like you
I understand you
can make a good superhero movie. It doesn't have to be better than The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
and you know, Christopher Nolan's a good director, so of course it's a good movie.
I mean, yeah, like
you know what I mean.
You can
like,
compare everything to The Dark Knight until you're blue in the face, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
Right,
it's just going to make everything worse for you.
You just have to think as a movie, is it good by itself? And and Dark Knight Rises is so.
Like personally, if I were to compare any superhero movie to anything, I always compare it to Spider-Man 2, but if I do that, then nothing's going to add up, because in my opinion, that's my favorite one. But
or like the original Batman or something.
Yeah, not the original Batman, the one from 1989.
1989, the Tim Burton.
Yeah, because we're comparing it to the original Batman movie. Then we're talking Adam West here.
Well, that's number one.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best movie ever.
Yes, Citizen Kane.
Should I go on to my number 4 then?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is The Expendables 2, and like I said, they both could have been 5 and 4 could be flip flopped either way.
I think my number 4 is Expendables.
Yeah, like
so. Yeah, let's just talk about it at once.
But like, let me just say something real quick. Like, Dredd can be 4 and The Expendables can be 5. It really doesn't matter; they're tied. But The Expendables, I just wanted to because I saw The Expendables 2 first, so it had more time to sink in. But like, The Expendables 2 was just the reason why I like it so much. I know a lot of people give both movies back. I mean, it's way better than the first one, because the first one. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
The first one had a lot of moments where nothing happened. Like this one is just excuse me, from the beginning to end. It's pretty much just them going at it with these bad guys. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, the villain in the film.
Mm-hmm.
He used to not be that great of an actor, but his acting talent has gone from here, and he skyrocketed.
Yeah.
He has become a great actor. He's a great villain. I saw this one movie. I forget what it's called. It's from the people who did the After Dark Horror Fest films. They released a new series from called After Dark Action. I'm not sure how long that's going to last though. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it, and I was like, wow, this guy really improved. I haven't seen Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning, but I heard that was pretty good, even though he doesn't get a lot of screen time. But one of the main reasons also why I like this movie so much is simply because of the final fight scene between Stallone and Van Damme, where they just just charging at each other, and it's
yeah, it was a solid action movie, you know.
Yeah, it's like this with Dredd are both very 80s action.
Yeah, they were, and they're entertaining too.
I also want to see the movie Bullet to the Head. If you heard of that one, it stars Stallone.
Yeah,
Vikings.
Yeah, I liked. It's my number 4 for the same reason. Yeah. So yeah,
it has ridiculous amounts of blood. Whether or not it's CG or not, I really don't care, because
but it was fun to watch. Right?
Some people say you can tell it's CG. I really couldn't tell. I mean, I'm just happy that they had someone's head explode, which is also very much why I like the film The Last Stand, even though it was very stupid. There's a lot of cool moments in it where it's just mindless violence, and especially in this one where you get to see there's a lot of corny jokes, but it's intentional. So
yeah, it's supposed to be stupid.
It's supposed to be a stupid 80s action film, and I understand why people don't like it. I'm not going to hate on them for it. It's their opinion. I really don't care. But in my eyes, The Expendables 2 was just so mindlessly entertaining that.
Yeah, people probably don't like it because it's mindless, but it's entertaining, so it works.
Yeah.
So number 3.
Yeah, number 3. Number 3 is actually Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods, in my opinion, was just brilliant. It was kind of the horror film I've been needing for a long time. I like the Paranormal Activity films. I haven't seen the 4th one because I heard nothing good about it.
Yeah, we are going to see it. It's a tradition for me and you to go see a Paranormal Activity movie in October.
Yeah,
but we didn't see the 4th one because we kind of figured out that it would suck just because they've made a 4th one.
Yeah, we're just kind of it's
we've seen this before. We're like,
sort of like how the Cinema Snob has a thing where he sees all the Saw movies when they come out. We see the Paranormal Activity films. We saw the first one. We saw Entity. We saw Paranormal Entity. It's not part of the series, but just for brevity's sake, we saw Paranormal Activity 2 in theaters. I saw Tokyo Night. Have you seen Tokyo Night? It's pretty much just a remake of Paranormal Activity 1 in Japan. But we saw Paranormal Activity 3 in cinema, and then we were going to.
I liked all 3 of them. Were good, and then the 4th one.
And then with the 4th one, my one friend said it's the one that actually scared him. I'm just I don't scare easily at all because I know it's all fake documentary.
All of them made me jump.
Yeah, they have good jump scares, and there is some times where it has good suspense. And I know a lot of people say not a lot of stuff happens, but
It's suspenseful.
It's build up. That's just the nitpick. It's
that's
the
build up.
Sort of like why people don't like the Blair Witch because nothing happens. But
it's build up, right? So,
but in reality, the Blair Witch really had a lot of moments where it didn't have anything happen. This one at least had more in it. Like some people say these are less interesting than the Blair Witch. I actually like these more than the Blair Witch, if I'm going to be honest here. And I do like the Blair Witch Project a lot.
I think I like the Blair Witch better, but
I can see. Yeah, I can understand that. The Blair Witch had more suspense because you really didn't know if there was anything out there. I mean, they're all more better than the last broadcast. If we're going to be honest.
No, I like the last broadcast too. I kind of like all.
I like last broadcast up until how stupid the ending.
The ending made me pointless. They should have just cut the ending out. But that was I like last broadcast a lot.
If they cut out the ending, I would have been like, okay, this is a sound movie.
We should get back to the number 3.
Yeah, this is a rant for a different day.
We'll do found footage at some other point.
Yeah, your number 3.
My number.
Sorry about that. By
3
the way.
is Dread. There's not much to say because we already said everything. So, it's Dread.
Yeah. And my number 2 is the Avengers, and the reason why I like the Avengers so much is because similar to the Cabin in the Woods, is like the Avengers is the superhero film that I've been needing for a long time. Like, it's what I've been wanting to see, like, ever since they had that shot at the end of Iron Man 1 with Nick Fury showing up. Now, if only they can get Spider-Man to show up at some point, then I'll be like, okay, these are, like, the best series of films. But I know that's not going to happen because, rights and stuff like that. Sony owns Spider-Man, Disney owns Marvel.
Also, I don't think, like, Robert Downey Jr. would like a bigger, superhero in the movie than Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like, would they want Spider-Man to take the limelight from them? You know what I mean?
Like, in reality, like, Spider-Man really isn't an Avenger. He kind of just shows up and helps every once in a while.
Right, but even still, like, it would cast a bigger shadow on the other actors.
It'd be cool to just see him in at least one Avengers film, though.
Yeah. But it's not going to happen.
Like, it's like, we need help from this guy, and then someone says he's too young, but he's like, but he has all this power. But anyways, we're getting off topic here. The Avengers was kind of just like, it was nice to see that they could
pull it off.
That they didn't just pull it off. They pulled it off well. They didn't just they got a great writer director a part of it. Joss Whedon, who also have you seen Serenity? Okay, yeah, I don't think you ever see the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, because I'm not gay.
Damn it, Donny. One, yes, you are. But anyways, yeah, it was really nice to see a superhero where they take an ensemble superhero cast and not screw it up, which is one of the reasons why I'm not excited for
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, like they did the X-Men well. The Fantastic Four was just kind of aggressively average, which I think is actually worse than being a bad movie. In all honesty,
yeah, generic.
And this is why I'm not looking forward to the Justice League film because we already saw the Avengers. Like we don't any other superhero massive superhero crossover
would be repetitive and
stupid, especially since some of the Justice Leagues are pretty much similar to each other. Some of the Justice League members are similar to each other.
Yeah, you need a variety of characters.
Yeah, which is why the Avengers worked. Like, they were all extremely different from each other. But, anyways, your number 2.
My number 2? I think it's actually Prometheus. People will criticize the crap out of Prometheus, right, because of the writing. There's ridiculous crap throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah, the writing's terrible, and there's a bunch of
you can
stuff.
cite some examples if you want.
Just because the oxygen isn't is normal doesn't mean there's not poisons in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the guy takes his helmet off, he's like, "Was this guy stupid?" And then this one guy who's I don't remember any of their names because I only saw it that one time. Mm-hmm. But the one scene where the guy's just he's supposed to be this brilliant scientist, and he's playing with the little alien snake thing it's a little.
It's leave it alone, right?
Yeah, it's either try and find a way to capture it and study it. Don't play around with it and piss it off,
or just stay away from it because it's an alien.
Yeah, you don't know what it is, and they didn't bring a diplomat or whatever to because you're talking to alien species. You didn't bring someone else to negotiate.
I could never follow the plot of that movie. It's too much ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, and
they never really explain what they're doing there. Or they do, but it's
just
I don't care.
They gave us an invitation to come here. It's you couldn't have found a better way to get them to find this. They couldn't have stumbled upon it by accident. They were doing some space exploration. But anyways,
but we get
we get the overall it's nice to see just a futuristic sci-fi film that's done.
Yes, it's nice to see a good science fiction movie. That's why I liked it, and also because we all agree the screenplay was it had problems, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of things that came off as stupid and silly to people.
Yeah.
And I hated the screenplay. I could make fun of it for hours, but I'm not going to. I think we all understand what I mean by the screenplay wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But okay, the story, the basic story of it, like the simplistic, like what happens in the movie, like the premise, that is something that has been done countlessly in science fiction horror genre, countless times.
The movie that it's a prequel to did it first.
Right, all of those movies, really.
Yeah, like.
And then that Alien, is based off of It, the Terror from Beyond Space, which is the same plot.
And like also
where they a spaceship comes down on a planet, and then there's a creature, and it kills all of the people on the ship.
And then like some of them are.
It's a really classic old story that's been done tons of times. It was done in The Thing.
Yeah.
It was done with
Planet of the Vampires, and no, you haven't seen that.
Oh, I have seen Planet of the Vampires.
You have seen that?
Yeah. I was actually gonna say that. And then, isn't there one, Galaxy of Terror? Isn't that the same plot? I mean, this has been done before, and it works. You can't mess this premise up.
Well, you can. You just have to try. Like, if you're going to mess it up, you have to try to mess it up.
It's kind of like, if you get a bunch of money and put it into a science fiction movie and do a big...
Like, pretty much Prometheus is like all those movies, but actually has, like, a massive budget to it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you... It's one of those things, it's a genre movie, so if you can just get the basics of the genre right, like the strengths of it, like the science fiction and the action right, I mean, it's simple, it's not artistic or smart, but it can be entertaining if it's done well.
Yeah.
And even with all the silly things in Prometheus, just because Ridley Scott did a good job on some of the science fiction elements of the movie, and it just does a couple good moments, like science fiction moments, it actually made it a good movie for parts of the movie. You know what I mean? And for those few moments, it really was, I think, the second greatest movie of the year. You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's simple. People probably don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
It's that it's as simple as a science fiction monster punching someone in the face.
Yeah.
But that's how those movies work.
Even though I would like to have seen more of
more of the violence, more
of the engineers actually doing something, which is what the
biggest flaw actually in the writing. I don't even think it's the silly stuff they run into or the dumb decisions. I think the biggest flaw of the writing was the characters.
Yeah.
And how
also
ridiculous the characters were. They didn't feel real. You needed better written characters.
Or like that one really stupid moment where that girl was running away from that thing that was turning, as opposed to running away, running forward as opposed to running to the side, because it was going like that and not like that. Honestly, when I was seeing that, I was like, she's retarded. But I remember on Facebook, this was very recent. So she was just this one girl posted, so Derpy Doo and I were watching Prometheus, and I thought it was just gonna be a fun space film. Now I'm scared, and I was just and I replied, well, it's a prequel to Alien. I mean, what'd you expect? Yeah. But
it wasn't as scary as Alien, but yeah, it's
it was just a more straight sci-fi film.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true.
And is this number one then?
Yeah, number one, I guess.
My number one's Chronicle. I don't care what anyone says. I like Chronicle a lot. I don't think this has been it's been on anyone's top 10 lists. It's either been on the bottom or whatever. And if it has been, I don't think it's been on a lot of people's top 10 lists. But Chronicles even though, like I said, the theatrical experience we had was terrible, the
movie was good.
Was brilliant. It's had some people said it was really I've seen people said it was really boring, but I knew throughout it was a character study of this one character and his interaction with his friends who also have similar powers to him, but they're not going through the same struggles that he is. And then you're waiting for, because you know it's going to happen. You know he's going to snap at some point, and you're waiting for that. And then when it does happen, it's one of the most entertaining moments in cinema. Yeah,
it was a good movie.
I don't have much to say about it other than that. Just check it out.
Yeah, go see that movie.
Yeah, and
I have to say, I think I've said this twice or three times already, but all of the movies I saw were almost tied, basically. It was, I basically picked them in chronological order because they're all pretty much good movies.
Yeah.
And they're all, none of them were that much better than another one. They're all just generally entertaining movies.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll remember many of them. They're all there's always, I'm sure I've seen a better movie in previous years than any of the movies I saw.
Maybe, yeah. No movie you saw last year were better than a movie.
Yeah, but for the most part, previous movies were better.
Yeah.
So, but having said that, they're all pretty good movies.
I think,
and I think of all of them, the best one, I guess, would be Django.
Yeah, I haven't seen Django.
Yeah, you haven't seen it, and
I want to see it, but like I said, like if I'm gonna have a day off, I'm not gonna go to a cinema. But like, I do want to see Pacific Rim though. But like, yeah, go on to Django.
Well, Django was all of the movies were good, but Django, I guess, I guess it was a little better than like Judge Dredd and Expendables, but it was about at the same level, I think.
I heard it was like very violent too.
Oh yeah, it had some violent scenes in it, and it was good.
I do want to see it though.
It had the thing I liked about it was that there wasn't. It felt like there were multiple villains. There was like the plot's like.
Watch for spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, I guess. It's a long movie too. The first half, or like part of it, spent on the one plantation with these, I guess, the three brothers they have to kill, and then the other part of the movie's another couple of villains, I guess, that they have to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like because it kind of has two halves to it. The movie's a little more complicated, you know. It's not just one villain. It's not that simplistic.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked it because of that. And it was a good movie.
And the D is silent.
Yeah, the D is silent.
And so that's our top 10 favorite films of 2012.
I have to say one last thing though. Of all the movies though, I think the one that has anything in it that I'll remember the most later would actually be Prometheus. Even though I don't think it was overall a better movie.
Yeah.
Just because I think there's few science fiction moments with Ridley Scott's direction I will remember in like 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So I will say I think that had some of the best moments of any movie.
Anyways, that's our top 10 favorite films of 2012. I gotta use the bathroom. I don't know what you're doing. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully 2013 will bring us better films.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully Iron Man 3 doesn't suck. Bye.